This is Nick.
This is Jack.
Welcome back. It is Monday, March 6th, and today's pod is the best one yet. It's a T-pod.
Yeti's Nick is still a dink.
I'm dinking it up.
And I'm still a one-son father as of now.
By the way, Jack was just walking down the Embarcadero, ran into a couple Yetis who loved our Tesla story last week.
Oh, about Master Plan Part 3?
They love the Master Plan Part 3. Yeah, she works at Pinterest. He works at Google. It was a great couple.
Are they dinks?
Well, they're not only dinks, they also are scared of Barney, Jack.
We love seeing Yetis in the wild.
We can use this platform to have a lot of influence, and it's really interesting to see how you're using it, Jack.
Dino shaming.
Hands off Barney, Jack. Hands off Barney. What's our first story for today's pod?
Costco just told us the future of your Costco membership.
Because there are more Costco families in America than there are families with dogs.
For our second story, Universal Music is the biggest record label in the world, and they just had a record year.
Yeah, because boy bands beat solo artists.
And our third and final story, there is a new car disruptor in America doing something totally different.
It's Vietnamese, it's fully electric, and it costs half a Tesla.
But Yetis, before we hit that fantastic mix,
A wonderful mix of stories to kick off the week with.
we're opening up Hoarders Almanac week 155.
Yeah, things were running out of in this economy. Jack and I have been keeping track for you.
We got an update for you this week on the eggflation situation.
Jack and I got some fresh news on the frittata fiasco.
The newest shortage isn't for eggs.
No, it's not.
It's for onions.
It's for onions. Yetis, worldwide, we are MIA on onions.
And that's a huge problem because onions, believe it or not, are the most consumed vegetable globally behind tomatoes.
Early takeaway, onions are the stinky icon of Earth's agriculture.
And you know what? Onions are emotional. And like ogres, they have layers.
They have layers.
And after eggs, they're the most important ingredient in your omelet.
Ipso facto, no onions, no Southwestern omelet, my friend.
But thanks to the egg shortage, there was already no omelet.
Boom, messes with your mind. Call this a secondhand yolk situation, Jack.
Now, yes, the eggflation situation has been bad.
But the way we see it, this onion on Funyun makes it worse.
Without eggs or onions, our breakfasts are broken.
Honestly, this news was so sad, Jack and I could cry.
But without sliced onions, there were no tears to cry.
But Jack, you know what this means?
What?
This onion shortage is a opportunity for shallots and leeks.
You got this, Fennel.
Yeah.
This is your moment.
Hey, Fennel, seize it by the roots.
Step up. This is it. You only get one shot.
Don't break a leg, break an egg. Jack, let's hit our three stories.
15 years before this song, two boys from the Northeast met in the dorm. They had an idea that caused a cultural storm. It's the best one yet, but the best is the norm. Jack, Nick, that's it. I don't even think they need to practice. 50%, that's a fat tip. T-Boy City on your at-list. If you know, you know, cause we ready to go. We can't wait no more, so just start the show. Start the show.
For our first story, Costco just announced earnings, but the only thing anyone really cares about is the membership fee.
But there is no Costco without the Costco membership fee.
Okay, Jack, let's talk about the number one fear across America last week. What was it? Well, it's not Hailey Bieber's drama right now.
It's not the Bitcoin price explosion either.
And it's actually not the Last of Us finale.
Although it is that.
Yeah, honestly, I can't watch that show anymore. I actually am really concerned.
That one mushroom head that's like the size of a tank.
I'm already getting nightmares. I don't even want to talk about it. But the number one fear across America last week, it was actually, will Costco raise its membership price?
Will Club Costco get club costlier?
And the reason everyone is concerned about that is that more Americans have Costco cards than have dogs.
Get this, Yeti. 68 million households are Costco members.
Okay, Costco Nation is half the population of the United States. Jack, I heard about someone the other day who will not date people unless they are fellow Costco members.
I love that.
It's not a club. It's a club.
Yetis, last year, Costco made $4.2 billion just on the membership fees.
Jack, can you sprinkle a little context on there for us?
That's more money just in membership fees than Lyft, the company, makes altogether.
Costco makes more money on your membership fee than Lyft in its entirety.
Nice rhyme there.
That kind of worked randomly.
Now, we were on our toes for Costco's earnings, which dropped last week.
They said that sales rose 7%, Costco's stock fell 4%, but what were we wondering, Jack?
What about the membership fee? Do we have an update?
Well, funny thing, Yetis. It turns out that Costco's membership price hikes actually follow a pattern. They are very, very predictable.
The last time that Costco increased their membership fee was in 2017.
Yeah, remember it well. Costco's price went from $55 to $60 a year to join Club Costco.
Historically, Costco has raised that fee 8 times. On average, every 5 years and 7 months.
Okay, Jack, let's pause the pod for a second. I'm checking the calendar, and if the last price hike at Costco was June 2017, then that
5 years and 7 months
means, are we getting a price hike like right now?
Oh my God, it's today.
It's supposed to be this month.
That's why analysts were asking the Costco CEO, when are you going to raise the price?
The analyst asked about membership prices like 8 times on the phone call. It was weird.
The CEO said, he didn't answer, but it was soon.
He seems to be
He
implying.
implied it was like any minute now.
Give us something we can work with, man. Today, tomorrow, next week. Jack, what is the takeaway for our buddies over at Costco?
You don't love Costco despite its membership fee. You love Costco because of it.
Yetis, people become members of Costco because of its low prices.
You spent $500 there last Saturday.
No judgments.
But you got 1 metric ton of food.
Rounding down. Now, Costco's numbers show that they sell groceries at basically a break-even price. They don't really make a profit on them.
How do we know? Because the membership fee is only 2% of Costco's revenues.
That's it.
But it makes up a majority of their profits.
That is huge.
Yetis, Costco has to make profits.
Right.
And since they do with their fee, it lets them sell groceries for so cheap.
Okay, so Jack, how does Costco keep its $1.50 hot dog combo $1.50?
Your membership fee, that's how.
And how does Costco keep its famous $5 rotisserie chicken only $5?
Your membership fee, that's how.
We all fear the Costco membership price hike, but maybe we shouldn't.
Because that membership fee is why you get Costco's low prices.
Ipso facto, the membership fee is why you love Costco. For our second story, Universal Music Group just had its best quarter in the history of song and dance.
Because it's better to be a boy band than to be a solo artist.
Beautifully put, Jack. Now, Yetis, Universal Music Group, they're the world's largest record label.
Universal Music Group is the Wiz Khalifa of Wall Street.
When you want to report on Universal Music's earnings, you got to talk to their agent. That's what you got to do.
And they gave us financial numbers last quarter that were pure harmony.
Get this, Universal Music's revenues surged 22% to $11 billion last quarter.
This is a major record label. It's the record label that signs musicians when they're young and then owns the rights to their music for the rest of their career.
7 out of the 10 top albums on the Billboard 200 last year were Universal Music Group.
Yeah, your Ariana Grande playlist drove Universal Music Group's stock last year.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. Can we whip up the other names involved in Universal?
It's a thick roster. Universal represents Olivia Rodrigo, Lil Baby, U2, BTS, The Beatles, Taylor Swift.
Okay, and ABBA, not too shabby.
Even Encanto, the soundtrack that's like #1 on Spotify because parents put it on for their kids.
Sit down, stand up, and just listen to those beats.
Every time one of their artist songs is streamed, Universal makes a fraction of a cent.
And Jack, I'm no Ringo Starr, but if you add up all those fractions, I'm pretty sure that makes $11 billion last quarter.
That's correct, Ringo. There were a lot of streams.
But yet, here's what Jack and I found fascinating about this Universal news. Their earnings report, when we jumped into it, it sounded less like a love song and more like a battle cry.
The CEO claimed that the economic model for streaming music needs to evolve.
Yeah, he said that he really wants to see a fundamental shift in where the music industry is right now.
Universal CEO called on artists to unite because musical artists are undervalued by the platforms that stream them.
In fact, Universal Music is kicking things up a notch. They want new licensing contracts with TikTok, Apple Music, and all the other tech platforms.
First, streaming changed music, but now music wants to change streaming.
It's like a Pink Floyd album played in reverse. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over in the music industry?
It's better to be a boy band than a solo artist.
Oh, Jack, should we talk about Michael Porter's 5 forces?
The Harvard Business School professor somehow has his lesson taught at every business school.
You have to learn this in business school, apparently. It is the 5 forces that determine who has power in any industry.
The more power your company has, the more profits your company can demand.
For example, one of the 5 forces is suppliers. How powerful is the supplier who you depend on?
If you depend on just a few huge suppliers, then those suppliers have the leverage.
Well, in the music streaming industry, suppliers have all the power because basically 3 large record labels control all the music.
So Spotify should be worried that its biggest supplier, which is Universal Music, wants to renegotiate the licensing deal.
Yeah, Universal, they represent thousands of musicians, including ABBA, and that is power.
That's why Universal has made $1 billion of profits 4 years in a row, while Spotify is still profitless.
Because it is way better to be a boy band than a solo artist.
And now a word from our sponsor, Robinhood.
Not spending money can be tough. We're all tempted by that top we just saw on TikTok.
Even harder, saving money for when you're 60.
But what if you got paid money to save money?
Robinhood Retirement offers the only IRA that does that on every eligible contribution every year.
For every eligible dollar you contribute to your retirement fund, they match 1% of it. No employer necessary. Limitations apply.
To get started, go to Robinhood.com/TBoy and get your first stock for free. Conditions apply.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY.
All investments involve risk. Contributions to and withdrawals from IRAs may entail tax consequences. Robinhood does not provide tax advice.
Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. For our third and final story to kick off the week, Vietnam's VinFast just introduced the cheapest electric car in the United States.
But VinFast faces a challenge because, as Jonah Hill once said, people don't forget.
People don't forget. Jack, can you whip out the whiteboard for us over here? We haven't brought out the whiteboard in a while. Let's bring that thing out, man.
In 2022, the number of electric cars sold in the United States jumped by 66%.
Now, we should sprinkle on a little context to this one too, Jack.
That sounds pretty good, but that's still just 6% of the total new cars that were electric.
Yeah, because 94% of new cars in the United States were conventional classic gas guzzlers.
And the big reason is price. The average electric car sold last year was $61,000.
$61,000, the average price of an electric car.
That's not a mainstream price.
That is supremium. That is Hermes handbag prices right there.
Well, last week things changed. 45 cars showed up at the port of Long Beach, California.
Yes, they did.
At a shockingly low price.
Jack, what was the price of these 45 vehicles that just appeared in California?
Less than half of the $61,000 price for VVs you're used to.
Ladies, Jack and I sat down, stood up, and sat back down again. The cheapest electric vehicles ever offered in the United States arrived last week from a company called VinFast.
VinFast. It was the VinFast VF8 model that hit American roads last week, selling for under $300 a month.
Now we know what you're thinking, Yetis. VinFast, like VinFast. It sounds like a stomach medication. You probably never heard of it, but you will know about this company soon.
Sounds like a really quick way to describe a Fast and Furious episode. VinFast is actually part of a Vietnamese giant conglomerate called Vingroup, which is the biggest company in all of Vietnam.
And this company, VinFast, is planning to IPO in the United States. They're even going to build a plant for cars in North Carolina.
But days before delivering their very first electric cars to the United States, they shockingly cut the price of their cars in half.
Out of nowhere, they pulled a J. Crew and threw these things on the sales rack. Half price for electric cars. Going once.
Just a few days before the first ones arrived.
For the price of a T-Mobile family plan, VinFast is going to sell you an electric car.
Yeah. Now, the lease was originally going to be $599 a month.
Which is a typical price for an electric SUV.
But then they dropped it suddenly to $274 a month.
Which is less than the price of a Honda Civic.
In California,
yes, Jack,
you can get a car, an electric SUV, for $274 a month.
I've seen Beanie Babies priced more than this car, Jack.
Like, that's the price of a gym membership at Equinox. You could get an electric car for it.
And you can't even get a Beanie Baby. So, Jack, what's the takeaway for our buddies over at VinFast?
To quote Jonah Hill in Superbad, people don't forget.
People don't forget. VinFast, they got big U.S. ambitions, but so did Tesla when they started.
The first Tesla cars were super premium when they rolled out in like 2008. $100,000 each.
But over the years, Tesla was able to go from upmarket down to the mainstream.
Unfortunately for VinFast, you can't really go in the opposite direction. You can't go from down market to up market.
And Jack, why can't you go from down market to up market?
Because people don't forget.
People don't forget.
VinFast's United States debut that happened last week, that set the tone for the future of the company.
The lowest priced electric car on the market.
And it's going to be hard to make profits long-term for VinFast.
Because it's the lowest priced electric car on the market.
And as Jonah Hill said in Superbad, people don't forget.
Even if it's like 8 years ago, people don't forget. Jack, can you whip up the takeaways for us over there?
Yetis, the Costco membership fee, it's going to get increased soon.
You don't love Costco despite the membership fee. You love Costco because of it.
For our second story, Universal Music just notched another record revenue year and over $1 billion in profits.
As Professor Michael Porter taught us, it's better to be a boy band than a solo artist.
And our third and final story is VinFast. Their first U.S. cars were delivered last week in California for a lease payment under $300 a month.
It'll be harder for VinFast to go upmarket because people don't forget. Now, time for the best fact yet. This one sent in by Matthew Chappa from lovely Austin, Texas, home of the breakfast taco.
Push and play.
Here we go.
Yetis, we all know millennials have it tough in this economy. So you may want to go dig through your closet back to your collection of comics, because if you have one of the 3,000 copies of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1's first print edition, you could have yourself a down payment on a house. First printed in May of 1984, this comic book has become the most valuable of the Copper era, with a record sale price of $245,000, which, if you bought it for the initial price of $1.50, would give you a $16,333,233% ROI.
Now, Yetis, I think Nick is going to get some ROI someday when he sells his Hot Wheels. Yeah, Nick has
don't
bunch of Hot Wheels.
Don't expose my hoarding situation, Jack. The
Nick
Hot Wheels
has
are for me.
a bunch of Hot Wheels that
They're
are
my toys.
unopened.
They're my
But you don't
toys.
play with them.
It doesn't matter.
You just look at them.
Yeah, but it's fun to look at them. You don't have to touch them.
Yetis, I'm not kidding. This is a collection.
I've invited you over before, Jack, and it was to engage in looking at them. It doesn't mean we need to destroy the packaging.
We didn't play with them. We looked at them.
You already destroyed Barney for me. Can you at least let me have my Hot Wheels, Jack? Oh. Yetis, you look fantastic to kick off the week. And if you haven't yet, you can click to follow us right here on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your pods.
Nick and I, we'll see you tomorrow.
If you know, you know. And before we go, congratulations to Yeti Bradley JK, who just got another 5 out of 5 on our T-Boy Pop Biz Pop Quiz last week. Not too shabby.
And congratulations to Ryan Peterson, who just ran his first marathon in San Antonio, Texas.
And Alex and Johnny just bought their first house together in Seattle.
Congratulations to Sarah and Waddell, who just got promoted at Eli Lilly.
And Jonathan DeArmas just got a new job, beep beep, at Car Gurus.
Vroom, vroom.
Check out that chassis. And Jordan Stewart is celebrating a birthday with some no-bake cookies, no judgments in Lexington, Kentucky.
Happy birthday to TJ Wilkerson, who's celebrating with his son Ocean in Little Rock, Arkansas.
And James Conway is on the way to work to celebrate that birthday in Chicago, doing logistics.
Happy birthday to Keith Ogg in Austin, Texas.
And Monsieur Coco Flageolet from just outside of Paris, enjoy that bon anniversaire.
And happy 26th birthday to Alex McCalman from Burlington, Mass.
Just outside Boston.
And to anyone else celebrating something today, make it a T-Boy.
Celebrate the wins.
This is Jack. Nick and I both own stock of Apple, Spotify, Robinhood, and we both own some Bitcoin.
A Bitcoin named Ben.
And now a word from our sponsor, Robinhood.
In the future, you may wear pants on your head and shirts on your feet.
We don't know what future you will dress like.
But we do know that future you will be happier if present you prepared for retirement.
Future you would be really happy to wake up 40 years from now with a loaded IRA.
Although no one knows how investments will perform, an IRA offered by Robinhood is like giving future you a gift from yourself.
Because Robinhood matches 1% of every eligible dollar you contribute to future you.
It's the the only IRA that does that every year. Limitations apply.
To get started, go to Robinhood.com/TBoy and get your first stock for free. Conditions apply.
That's Robinhood.com/TBOY.
All investments involve risk. Contributions to and withdrawals from IRAs may entail tax consequences. Robinhood does not provide tax advice.
Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC.
Weekend plans?
Well, you and your baby were going to fly to Mexico. If you have your baby this weekend, we're going to dink it up like a couple of dinks doing some straight up dinking.
I can't believe how
Dink on
true
over
it
to
is.
Mexico.
Everything you're saying is fully true right now. You have a go bag? I have a go bag for the hospital. You have a go bag for Cozumel.